Alright guys, so as you can see, need a haircut, need to shave my face, but I'm on leave, so I'm trying to enjoy myself as much as I can. Not have to worry about getting haircuts and all that kind of stuff, but so I got my Associated hit and miss engine done. Probably as much as it's going to get done for now, until next time I come home. I'd like to get a better permanent gas tank and stuff on it. But I wanted to do a couple of videos of just stuff that I've collected and my family's collected, and just kind of a taste of this, where I came from and the stuff that I'm used to working on. And I'm always saying like, oh, I wish I was home, because my grandpa's a machinist and he has got friends that are machinists, and you know, my uncle collects stuff, my dad collects stuff, all my uncles and my grandpa, they all collect stuff. So if I ever really need anything, a lot of times rather than going out and spending the money or even going to a junkyard and having to buy stuff, I can just take a walk next door and I can go buy it, or I can go borrow something, or pretty much have something, or give somebody a little bit of nothing for the parts that I need, whether it be a 3-wheeler part or a 4-wheeler part or an old truck or a car or pretty much anything I'm working on. If I run out of welding wire, I can go over and use somebody else's welder real quick. So I think for this video, what I wanted to do is just kind of go through. I don't have a whole lot of stuff to go through and do like, oh, a full out video on this old truck or this old car or this old motor. So what I wanted to do is just kind of take you guys through and show you a couple quick clips of just things I've been working on through over the years, or things I've collected and stuff like that. Just things that I think are neat and stuff that I have kicking around. Maybe it'd be something some of you guys are interested in. And I like to post these videos to YouTube. That way I know I'm never going to forget these things and it'll be on the internet forever. And that way, you know, in case something ever happens to them, or I forget about something, or I'm in a different state or a different country and I want to remember something, like, oh, I can't remember what that motor was, I could look back at these videos and I could see like, oh yeah, it was a V8 and whatever, blah blah blah. So without any further ado, I'm probably just going to go ahead and start doing little clips here and there. I don't know how long of a video it will be, but I'll get everything all on there, and hopefully you guys find some interest in some of this stuff. You know, old motors and, you know, just stuff I've collected. So alright guys, so this is an old V8 that I had. My grandfather on my mother's side rebuilt it, and never really, I mean, he finished it. I don't know if he did a quick valve job and head gaskets and stuff like that, and went all through it, made sure everything was good. And then I don't think he ever adjusted the valves. I know the old GMCs, the old Pontiacs or whatever, there was a couple years where the valves were a little bit different or whatever. So I don't think he ever got to run. But it was in an old log truck, a GMC 370, and he sold it to my uncle on my dad's side. And then if you look back through my videos, you'll see that we built a pretty cool little doodlebug for hauling logs out of the woods, and kind of just as a little play toy. And this is what we were originally going to use for it, but we never got it to run. We only messed around with it for like a day or two. And then it was missing a few parts. I can't remember if throughout bearing or pressure plate or something or whatever. And he had a 1956 Chevrolet car motor sitting in the garage that he knew would run. He took it out of a running car. And so he had that, and we just ended up using that instead. So a few years ago, he said, hey, you know, I don't want to junk this motor. I don't want to stick it outside and watch it get ruined. So he asked me if I wanted it, because he knew it was from my mom's side of the family. So I was like, oh, heck yeah. I was in North Carolina, so he brought it over. Him and my cousin plugged up all the holes, covered up the carburetor, as you can see. And they just parked here some more. Looks like a flywheel and clutch plate or whatever. It's got the original breather and whatnot. What he was told and what I was told, what research we've done, is it's a Pontiac 336 that came in a 1959 GMC 370 log truck. Don't know a lot about it. Haven't done a whole lot of work to it. We did have it turn it over here a couple years ago. So probably for now what I'm going to do is go through it and just squirt a little bit of oil in every single one of the cylinders. And I already turned it over a couple times, just like a quarter of a turn, just to see if it was seized up. And it still sounds like it's got compression and everything. So last time we went through it, I know we did head gaskets. I remember we pulled the heads and checked all the intake gaskets, and I think put like a top end gasket kit type deal in it. But just never got it to run. It was never really. It was kind of just you know, if we could get it to run, it'd be cool to have a V8 in it. And then it was a little bit more work than what we were trying to do, so we just said screw it, and ended up putting the straight 6 235 in there. So I'm just gonna double check, make sure she's got some oil in it, turn it over. Something I like to do every time I'm home, and make sure she doesn't get seized up. I'd like to use it someday for a rat rod. I'm sure it would clean up nice. It wouldn't take a whole lot. And I don't know. I did a research a couple years ago. I can't remember all the stuff, but I've never really messed with the 50s cars too much, or the trucks. I think they said it's real close to like a 389 or a 289 or something like that, or whatever, because it's a small V8 or whatever like that. It's 336, but I was always told it was a Pontiac 336. Did some sort of research online. They said it's like a 331 cubic inch or something like that, but they called it a 336. And there's another GM motor or Pontiac motor that's real similar to it. A lot of parts are interchangeable. So one of these days, this thing will end up in some sort of vehicle. It's got a belt housing on there, I think, and stuff. And then I just got some more parts over here. But for now, I'm just going to squirt some oil in it and turn it over and make sure those pistons don't get seized up. And try to find a dipstick that fits in it a little better. See if I can find some actual, see how much oil it's got down in the base or whatnot. But for now, that's probably all I'm going to do with this time I'm home. And one of these times I really like to hear it run. So maybe next time you guys will hear this one run. But I'll move on to the next little showpiece. I don't know. We'll see what it is. We got all sorts of stuff around here. All right, guys. Got to do a quick clip on this double bicycle. My uncle used to build them. Him and one of his buddies, or him and my dad used to build them back in the day, back when they were like in high school and stuff. Just took two bicycles, welded them together. This is obviously way better than probably what they did way back then. But I built one in high school. My cousin built one in high school, and you just put your legs down, your left leg down here on that bar, and you push it a little bit, and then you step over and you get on. You can ride it. It's pretty high once you get up there. There's a couple of these things kicking around here, still in there. All right, so this is my 1982 Honda 185S. It's got like a 200S rack that we cobbled on there, 125 or 110 rear grab bar with the light in the toolbox. It's got a homemade tractor muffler from Tractor Supply. These are the tires and rims that run it when I got it. It's got a weird straight pipe on there, stainless steel. I had to build some brackets to put a 125M gas tank on there just because what I had to work with. It's a 1993 Suzuki 250, I can't remember, King Quad or Quad Runner. 4-wheel drive. That's the rear rack that we cut up and welded together for the front rack. It's got an old Yamaha snowmobile front light, and made my own brackets for that. Just got like an 1157 Ford taillight bulb in there. Aftermarket handlebars. Fenders are actually in pretty good shape. Recoil works. Needs one more wrapped to preset the spring load. This is just my little beater bike. It's got a little cheap Chinese carburetor on it I threw on this time when I was home. Just enough to get it to run a little bit. But this is my little beater while I'm home. Take it to camp or ride it back and forth next door and whatnot. This is my go-to bike whenever I'm home. And then I moved the wife's bike home last summer. It's a 84 125M electric start. Had a new battery in it, but it sat for 2 years. I put Tractor Supply tires in the back because I had lawnmower tires. Cleaned it all up. Good running bike. Needs a carburetor kit now because it's been sitting. Still runs, but it doesn't want to start the first crank, which is how I like them. This one's in really good shape. Original seat cover. Original trunk lid. Still got the tools in the toolkit. I don't know if I ever did a video on this one for you guys or not. Somebody made a, so you can see the tools. It's got all 16 or whatever tools. I went through on bikebandit.com and looked at all the original tools and counted them out, and they're all there. I think I did chain and sprockets and rear bearings on this one a couple years ago. Somebody put a hitch on there. I just threw a ball in there. It's all bent to shit. Had to make a better one. These things are pretty powerless, you know, as far as towing stuff or whatever, maybe like a small garden trailer. But got the recoil, electric start works like I said. Keep the oil change in it. Not really that any dents or anything in the gas tank either. Fenders are all pretty good. Starting to get stress cracks here. But these two 3-wheelers stay in a barn or an old shed where my grandpa's. I cleaned them out a couple years ago, so I pretty much just put my stuff in there. This one I've been riding it around. Original tail light. All the brakes work, to include the handles. The foot levers, they're all adjusted. Put all new brake pads in there all the way around. So this one's always probably been about my favorite trike that I've owned. I bought it in North Carolina for like $300. Put $100 worth of tires and a little bit of stuff into it, keep the oil change and stuff, and she'll last forever. But that's about it for the 3-wheelers. That's up here. I had a little 70 that I sold to a buddy, and he'll get good use out of it. So this is all I got left up here right now. Two little reds.